Jerry by David Anglin. Prologue. Melanie woke up in a cold sweat as her body trembled from the vividness of her dream. Or nightmare would be a more accurate way to describe it. Though awake now, she couldn't shake off how real it felt. How scared she'd felt when the man with no face, other than shiny white teeth, had her trapped in her room, in her former place of sanctuary. When thunder had rumbled from outside and shook the house, her very core trembled. Worse still when lightning struck, splitting the very heavens in a flash of brilliant blue, revealing more of the grinning monster. Its high cheekbones, its chiseled chin. It was handsome, but resonated an evil aura. Tears came to her eyes as she remembered how scared she'd felt, how she'd begged for it to just leave her alone. But it advanced, taking no notice of her pleas, that she's only 11, that she has nothing to give. He grinned wider, showing more of his teeth. As it got closer, all she could do was cower in a corner, huddled next to her teddy bear, with the white fur and a red ribbon. She'd always imagined Teddy as a big furry bodyguard, her personal protector. How wrong she'd been. As the grinning demon simply dashed Teddy to one side, stepping on it, towering over her, its massive shoulders blocking out any light and casting a long shadow over her. Shaking, she looked up, and this time his face was fully revealed. She saw the face of Jerry, the face of her son, reaching for her with massive hands. She let out a scream, the scream that had woken her, waking her from her nightmare in a cold sweat. It was only a dream, she tried to reassure herself, but she knew that was a lie. As though the events were warped by the dream, the events did happen so long ago, when she was so young. Her life forever changed, her innocence forever tainted. She felt around, noticing a warm body laying next to her. A man's body, naked. Right now though, she couldn't think who he was or how he got here. Her mind was a mess, cloudy from the dream, cloudy from life. All days seemingly rolled into one long battle against depression. The only peace she found was in warm flesh and gifts of cocaine highs to ease the numbness and help the days roll by. She reached for her bedside table, feeling for the little bottle of Hennessy that she knew would be there. She picked up the 3 sleeping pills left on the side, popping them in her mouth and washing them down with a massive gulp that warmed her chest. Laying back, she tried to close her eyes, but all she saw were visions of darting shadows. Shadows that morphed into images of a shadowy man with large shoulders, always smiling with the face of her son. She rolled over into another dream, back to being just a child who was so skinny, who had such slender arms, slender legs, but such a pretty face. Comments about her natural beauty became normal for her, but one commenter remained consistent, persistent even, always telling her what a beautiful face she had, how long her legs were, how full her lips are. how she'll make a man very happy. Her young brain just couldn't work out how the man who had such nice compliments, such nice gifts, who openly praised her, showering her with gifts, for just one affectionate kiss, stood in front of her, again, going for that which was most precious. She felt his large hands on her. She tried to cower away further, but still he touched, placing his hands on her neck, over her shoulders, across the little lumps on her chest, making her shudder with disgust, outwardly crying for help that she knew, no, they both knew, wouldn't come. Why did Mummy have to work so late? She sobbed for the millionth time. As if turned on from the whimpers, his hands reached further, reaching across her slim stomach, down below her waistline, underneath her pajama bottoms, between the thin pieces of fabric that concealed her innocence. She woke up in another sweat. Everything felt hazy, surreal. Was this real? Was she real? Was her existence real? She felt drained and tired. She hadn't slept properly for the last 6 months, barely more than a few hours each day. Each time she managed to sleep, she'd be met with the same reoccurring nightmare. She hoped time would have eased the pain, but it only got worse. The men, the drugs, the drink only helped temporarily ease the hurt, ease the urges, her old urges. Subconsciously, she touched the cut on her wrist. In a haze, she got up and made her way over to the source of her problem. She entered her son's room. Sitting on his bed, she looked at him, watched as he slept so peacefully. Only 7, but still so handsome. He had the same high cheekbones, like him. The same chiseled chin, like him. Without warning, tears streamed down her face. As she pondered the question she'd asked 1,000,000 times before. Why, God? Why does he have to look like him? Act like him? She stroked his hair more as her tears fell harder, rolling over her cheeks, dropping from her chin, dampening his hair. She looked over at the spare pillow next to him, and suddenly it all became so clear, all so apparent. Why hadn't she thought of this earlier? For the first time in such a long time, she had a clear plan, a clear route to stop the feelings of emptiness, the feelings of loneliness, a plan to stop the self-hate, the self-harm, the feelings of resentment, no, hate towards her son. She grinned, just like I had a monster. No, Jerry had grinned in her dreams. She grinned more as she placed the soft pillow over her son's. No, the monster's face. She grinned even wider as she saw his body react, how his arms flailed about. She pushed down harder on the pillow as he struggled for oxygen, the oxygen that she, his mother, prevented him from breathing. Mummy! The muffled voice of her son, calling for her, snapped her back to reality. The reality of what she'd nearly done hit her hard. She ran from his room, her mascara ruined by tears, her mind further damaged by the sobbing heap. Her sobbing heap. Her Jerry. She ran to the bathroom, locking the door behind her. She turned on the light, looking in the mirror, seeing a reflection of a gaunt face with mascara streaks, puffy eyes, smudged red lips, full hips, ample breasts. She was still beautiful, but so badly damaged and hurt. She raised her arm and looked at the lines from where she'd cut herself as a child to her late teens. Though her cuts were healed, each one represented a memory, a point in time when our uncle, the real monster, Jerry's father, had molested her. Each cut representing each one of his touches. Calmly, she opened the cabinet door to the left, pulling out and opening a container with the sleeping tablets. She popped a tablet into her mouth, then another, and another, and another. Consciousness slipped from her as her mind travelled back to the sleeping angel that was her son, her beautiful son, Jerry Fishton. That's the end of that for now. Hope you enjoyed listening to the first part of my book, Jerry.